were 2 tiers of booths and tables bounded by glass walls. The club was packed on this Saturday night, the music deafening and pounding inside of me. Squinting, I looked up at a little alcove just behind and above the DJ booth, where one of the new guards was standing. He was blocking the hallway that led to where the relic was hidden. If they kept to the schedule, any minute the other guard would come and relieve him. Now I just had to delay the new dude and let Asa's contact take care of the guy up top. That would give Asa the few minutes he needed to swipe the relic and get out clean. Sure enough, as I gyrated through the crowd, a bald guy in a gray suit slipped into the alcove, his cold eyes on the gorgeous blonde in his arms. She was Asa's contact. She sank to her knees, and Baldy leaned back, his eyes closed. Well, that was one way to distract him. I hoped he had some staying power. I had a slightly different approach planned, thanks to my partner in crime. My gaze remained on the stairway that led up to the alcove where Baldy was being entertained, while I inched my way over to the base of the stairs. I started to sweat. Where was the replacement guard? Had I missed him? If I had, would Asa see him in time? There were so many things that could go wrong. "Excuse me," said a deep voice close to my ear. I started and looked up to see the mercenary with the doughy face looking annoyed. I was blocking his way. I grinned up at him. "You're a little overdressed for the party," I said, eyeing his slightly rumpled suit. "Can you dance in that?" I asked, as my hand crept toward the hidden pocket just inside the hem of my dress. He smirked. "You think I'm here to dance?" He put one foot on the bottom step. "You should be." I ran my palm down my hip and slipped the tiny bottle free. Asa always knew what I needed. After listening to me describe the atmosphere of this club, he'd armed me with something he said would be absolutely perfect. "Come and dance with me." The mercenary's gaze dropped to my boobs. "Maybe later." I hadn't moved, so he took my shoulders and began to move me out of the way, and that was when I squirted him dead in the face with the contents of my bottle. "What the—" He released me and I staggered back, then got my footing and began dancing, blending into the crowd. The mercenary wiped his hand down his face, his look of irritation transforming into a grimace of pain. His pale skin turned chalky, then he doubled over and barfed all over the floor. Other clubbers leaped away from the splatter but kept dancing. It wasn't so unusual for someone to overdo it. I'd seen the same thing happen in this very club on 3 separate occasions. Wincing as another fountain of puke burst from the mercenary's mouth, I looked up toward the alcove to see the shadow of the other dude still in place. I pulled my phone out of the neckline of my dress and shot Asa a text. "Ready to rock?" I waited for a minute, expecting to see his response. "Ready to roll." That's what it was supposed to say. My phone buzzed. I focused on the screen. "Run." I read it just as a hard hand closed around my arm. The green-faced mercenary glared down at me. "You little bitch!" I gouged my spiked heel into his shin and tore myself away, but collided with a couple of girls carrying glowing blue drinks. Glass shattered. My phone flew from my hand and clattered to the floor, where it was promptly stomped on by an overenthusiastic guest with slicked-back hair and sweat stains in his pits. "No!" I gasped, lunging for it just as it was kicked beneath the feet of another tangle of dancers. Its screen went dark. Oh, crap. I glanced over my shoulder to see the mercenary, who had paused in his attack to spew all over the floor again, raise his head and bellow something up the stairs to his distracted partner. Then he snarled at me and dipped his hand inside his jacket. Running seemed like a darn good idea. I plunged into the writhing crowd, hoping the guy would have the sense not to shoot. No such luck. Even with the music pounding, the shots jolted the people around me. "Gun!" someone shouted as the crowd pressed back against walls and columns, with the strobe lights stroking the stampeding mob with pink and blue light. I had a clear view of the second mercenary bounding down the steps, his pants hanging open and his gun out. My heart in my throat, I turned toward the exit, only to find it blocked by a crush of bodies all trying to escape. And I was at the back, a small but convenient target as the sick guy, who could barely stand, pointed his thug partner in my direction. Just as the mercenary raised his weapon.